Nobody trains a comedian to face missiles. Nobody expects a joke to stop a war. Yet when Russia invaded Ukraine, the man standing in front of the world wasn't a general, it was a former TV actor. No armor, no escape. Just a phone camera and a sentence that would echo through history. This is not a story about politics. This is a story about pressure and what it turns people into. Volodymyr Zelensky grew up far from power, in an industrial city where survival mattered more than ambition. His parents wanted stability. He studied law, a safe life. But Zelensky chose uncertainty stages instead of offices, jokes instead of contracts. He learned how crowds think, how silence feels, how timing changes everything. Back then, it earned laughs. Later, it would earn loyalty, but destiny hadn't knocked yet. Comedy made him famous, television made him rich, and servant of the people made him dangerous. In the show, Zelensky played an ordinary teacher who becomes president by accident. Corruption exposed, power mocked. Ukraine laughed then paused. Because the fantasy felt real, too real. When Zelensky announced he would run for president in real life, critics laughed again. They thought it was another sketch. They were wrong. Against seasoned politicians and billionaires, Zelensky won by a landslide. No political machinery, no military past, just a promise to clean a broken system. To elites, he was an embarrassment. To rivals, a puppet. To enemies, irrelevant. They assumed pressure would crush him. But pressure doesn't always break people. Sometimes it reveals them. And in 2022, pressure arrived without warning. The invasion began before sunrise. Missiles, sirens, chaos. Intelligence agencies called Zelensky with an offer: evacuation, safety, silence. History would have understood if he ran. Many leaders would, but he stayed. And with one sentence, "I need ammunition, not a ride," he rewrote leadership. Fear was expected, defiance was not, and suddenly, the world stopped scrolling. Zelensky filmed himself in Kyiv streets at night. No script, no makeup, just truth. "I'm here." 3 words. That was enough. Soldiers fought harder. Citizens resisted. Ukraine believed. Leadership wasn't about commanding armies, it was about refusing to disappear. While missiles fell, his presence became a weapon. And Russia realized too late. You can bomb cities, but not resolve. Every night, the same ritual, same jacket, same streets, same message. The consistency mattered. It told Ukrainians, this isn't theater, this is commitment. Meanwhile, the world watched a new kind of leader emerge, one who didn't hide behind walls or podiums. Authenticity became strategy. Vulnerability became strength. And that terrified people who relied on fear. Zelensky didn't speak like a politician. He spoke like a storyteller. He compared wars, invoked shared memories, named children and cities. Parliaments fell silent. Aid flowed. Sanctions followed. A man once dismissed as a clown now moved global power with words. Not shouting, not threatening, just reminding the world what was at stake. And that influence came at a cost. Because wars don't reward symbolism alone. Cities were destroyed, lives were lost, promises from allies slowed, criticism returned. Some said Zelensky pushed too far, others said not far enough. Every decision meant blood somewhere. Leadership stopped being inspiring and started being unbearable. But quitting wasn't an option, because history doesn't forgive leaders who leave halfway through the storm. Zelensky aged fast. The jokes disappeared, the smiles faded, the weight showed. Yet he kept speaking, because silence kills attention, and attention keeps nations alive. He understood something many leaders don't. Modern wars are fought in trenches and timelines. Lose the narrative, and you lose the future. And Zelensky refused to lose either. He wasn't fearless. He admitted fear. That honesty became his shield. In a world of scripted lies, raw truth cut deeper. His enemies could attack his cities, but not his credibility. And credibility is contagious. The more he stayed human, the harder it became to look away. The world didn't just watch Ukraine fight. They felt involved. But power always demands a price. The longer the war dragged on, the harder belief became. Fatigue spread. questions grew louder. How long can courage last? How much can a nation endure? Zelensky carried the answers without certainty, because leadership doesn't mean knowing the ending, it means walking forward anyway. Zelensky didn't become a symbol by trying. He became one by refusing to abandon responsibility. He never claimed greatness. He accepted burden, and that distinction matters. History remembers those who choose duty over safety, and whether Ukraine wins or loses territory, something irreversible has already happened. The idea of leadership has changed. A comedian proved seriousness isn't about tone, it's about action. That power doesn't always come from strength, but from presence. And that the world doesn't need perfect leaders. It needs present ones. That truth unsettles every system built on distance and privilege. Which is why Zelensky's story scares more than it inspires. Because this story isn't finished. The war continues. The outcome uncertain, heroes can fall, legends can fracture, and history is brutal to those it once celebrated. Will Zelensky be remembered as the man who saved his nation, or the man who sacrificed everything trying? That answer is still being written. What we do know is this: moments like this expose character faster than decades of peace. And when the moment came, Zelensky didn't outsource courage. He stood inside danger and spoke anyway. That choice alone ensures his name won't disappear, even if the cameras do. So when people ask how a comedian became a wartime leader, they miss the point. He didn't transform overnight. He was revealed. Pressure didn't create him, it uncovered him. And that should make everyone uncomfortable, because it means potential leaders are hiding in plain sight, unnoticed. Zelensky's story isn't about Ukraine alone. It's about what happens when ordinary skills meet extraordinary moments. Communication, presence, empathy, courage. Things often mocked as soft until they become the hardest weapons left. The war will end someday. The speeches will stop. The cameras will move on. And only then will the real judgment begin. Was this courage enough? Was the cost worth it? History won't be kind, but it will be honest. And that's why this story still matters right now. If this story changed how you see leadership, like this video. If you think Zelensky will be remembered as a hero or a warning, comment your view. And if you want more stories about power, pressure, and people history didn't expect, subscribe, because the next story might be unfolding right now.